Hey y'all, it's y'all favorite cozy girl, Chi the Reality Queen, and I am back again with another episode of Robe Chronicles. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 9, Episode 12. And this episode obviously started off right where we ended in the last one, with Jacqueline walking up to the Love Lagoon party with 8 pink Mylar balloons. Um, and she's basically trying to tell Karen, like, oh, each one of these balloons signifies one of your citations, and I know it's been weighing a lot on you, so we're going to hand them out and release them out, and you know release that, I guess, pressure or whatever that you have from these citations or whatever. Honestly, she said something and it kind of made sense, but it also kind of sounded shady. And if I didn't invite you and you knew you weren't invited and you showed up in that manner, you're not going to say anything that's not immediately shady to me. So, whatever her intention was, it did not come off as good. It came off as weird, silly, because what she did, if it wasn't meant to be silly or like shady or whatever, why was Mia laughing? The entire time she was over there talking, Mia was cracking up in her seat. What does Mia know? Why is she laughing? Very weird. Um, But then Mia's like, oh, obviously Karen goes off. She's like, get out of my house, leave, blah, 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 woo, woo, woo. And so Mia's like, well, I'm going to walk her out. I'm going to walk with her. Or actually, she says, I'm going to leave with her, is what she said. I am going to leave with her. She walks out. She's talking to Jacqueline, and she's like, I don't know, like, because, Karen has said, get off my property or whatever. She's like, she's acting like she owns this place. She just rents. It's where she rents, blah, blah, blah. She has a rental agreement, meaning that she is the current occupant of that place. And if she don't want you there, she don't want you there. Girl, you don't even own a home. You live in an apartment that you rent downstairs from your ex-husband. So I don't know if you can open your mouth and speak to someone else's situation when you're in a much worse off predicament than that person. Like Mia is Like sometimes shade don't hit because your problems are worse. They're much bigger. Like shade hits when you're not anywhere near in the same zip code of whatever problems that somebody's having. But when you are really just the same, shade don't hit that well. And so it was very weird. And then after getting kicked out, it's funny because when they were getting kicked out, like Ray was very nice and he had his arm around Jacqueline. And you hear Karen like, take your arm off her. And I know Ray was just being kind because there was a point that Jacqueline and Karen were clearly cool, and Jacqueline obviously was coming over or whatever. But I feel in whatever kiss the ring situation or kiss the cooch situation Jacqueline had with Mia, it came with her having to beef with someone. And because at the beginning of this season, I don't think Karen and Mia were really in the best space, that just was the person. That's what I feel. Um, and maybe because Karen is the OG or one of the OGs, there's not that many OGs left, just Karen, Giselle, and Ashley. So maybe she figured pick an OG and knock them down a peg, and then you could be my friend on the show. I don't know. I definitely feel like, but I do know without knowing because I don't know them that that conversation had to happen. Like it's crazy. Um, but yeah, so anyways, Mia tries to confront Karen after she comes back in. First of all, I thought she said she was leaving. Like, girl, bye. Go with your friend. Don't come back. But she was just kind of like, oh, Karen, let me ask you this, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what the F she was talking about or what she was trying to talk about, but girl, I'm heated. This is not the time for you as her friend to come talk to me like, because I'll slap the shit out of you too. Obviously, Karen is not on my type of time, but like that's the energy that she should have had for her. Like, girl, bye. You actually get out of my house as well. Like, I don't want you here. I don't want to see your face. So it was very weird. But anyway, the event ends and The mermaids go home. Mia gets in the pool to swim. I'm like, girl, go home. Okay. Like that's really how I felt. Like, Mia, go home. But yeah, and that's basically how the episode ends. I mean, not the episode, that little segment ends. And then we see everybody packing for Panama. Everybody's getting ready to go. Um, Karen, when they get to the airport, Karen is talking to Giselle. She's like, you know what? I don't like what's going on. I don't like how Jacqueline's behaving, blah, 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 blah. She's like, we need to do a little OG check. Like, as the OGs that are here and remaining, like, we need to check these girls on what it really is here in Potomac. And I think she's kind of correct because the way this show is going, I don't know if the producers really like Mia or who really likes Mia and is allowing Mia to play all these little puppeteering games, but it's like, it's not. It's diminishing the season, I think. I think anytime Mia is on my screen, I feel like the show isn't living up to the potential that it could be. Like, I know that we're looking for drama, and I'm not saying that she doesn't have drama, but her drama seems so manufactured and cheap. So I just don't think she should be anybody's focal point. Um, like I said, this is when I really realized that Jazzy wasn't invited to the trip because she was at the Love Lagoon, but I didn't see her here, and I no one made any mention of it. No one even was like, "Oh, it's so sad Jazzy can't come and we invited her." So I'm kind of interested in knowing why she wasn't invited. And I kind of am like, is it because there wasn't space? It was just one friend of could go, or I don't know. But I am curious to know. I hope they circle back on that. Um, then they fly obviously to Panama, but when they get to Panama, they got a 2-hour drive from Panama to their resort. Now, I have done that. Not I've never been to Panama. Okay. Never been to Panama. I want to go now. They've actually made it enticing to me. But it was one of those things where I have done that going to Tulum. And let me tell you, that drive from the Cancun airport to Tulum, it almost is, it's like exhausting. You don't want to do nothing else. And so Wendy had been like, oh, because we're, it's such a long drive, we're going to be tired. Dinner will be very casual. Remember that. Dinner will be very casual. Okay. Anyway, so they get in the car, they're driving. I'm like, see, I couldn't be on this show because I'm a sleeper. I like to get into the vehicle and knock the fuck out. Okay. Like, I'm sleep so quick. You are concerned about me. That's how quickly I fall asleep in a vehicle. So you're telling me I'm supposed to get in this car and have conversation with my castmates? Baby, I'm sleeping. I'm not even gonna make it 10 minutes. It's kind of like when they drove to Surrey County. I'm like, no, I'm not having conversation with y'all. I'm sleeping. I'm going to bed. My head finna hit that window, and you will be like, oh, is she okay? No, I'm asleep. But anyway, they did the drive and they were talking, and Stacy asked Ashley about her like spidey senses because she says she has spidey senses about TJ, and she's basically saying that something's off and she feels like there's no chemistry. And I think, this is just my thought, that I feel like Ashley is low key trying to allude to the fact that she thinks, without saying it, because Ashley's very open and honest and all that stuff. So she would never want to, I think, out anybody or assume someone is gay, or I don't think that's something she would want to do on camera or whatever. But I feel like that was her nice way of trying to like get to that point. And Cake was basically saying like, at the event y'all shared like a Christian kiss, and she was like laughing because, and then they played it back and the kiss was like, Stacy went in for the kiss and TJ kissed her, but it was like, I don't want to kiss you. And if someone kissed me with that much like almost like they were like repulsed by me. Like, I'm not, I can't. I'd be stressed because like that would stress me out. Like, I don't know if I could play the long game on that one. Like, it's too, it's too stressful to be dating people there because like he comes off like he's not attracted to her. And Stacy's a very beautiful woman. And I'm not saying that he should be tempted by the flesh of woman, but I am saying that it's weird. And it's funny because in the last episode, when they were playing the game and they were like, oh, they were talking about like dominant and submissive or whatever. And he was like, I'm not a virgin. I've had sex before. And I've noticed that he has continuously left off that little part of like with women or, it's just very broad, very general. Not, oh yeah, I've had sex with women, like, or maybe that would be weird if he said it, like, oh, I've had sex with other women, or maybe I don't know what's weirder. I don't know. I think he's just awkward. I think he's a little weird. Like, I'm trying to figure out what would sound normal. Like, I've had sex with other women before, or I've had sex before. I don't know. Comes off as a little weird. I just don't know. Um, but anyways, Ashley is gushing about her little boyfriend, and Wendy was like, "You really like him?" Like, girl, that's Jack Harlow. And she's like, "The only thing is, we hope he's as accomplished as Jack Harlow." She's like, "If Jack Harlow has accomplished anything," and that slight shade is really why I love Wendy because, like, who is Jack Harlow for real? Honestly, I know who he is and he's accomplished. He's a musician, whatever, whatever. But I can't, in this moment right now that I'm making this video, I cannot think of a song that he has. Not one. But I know he has them because the name is familiar and I know the name, I know what he looks like. But I just can't currently think of any songs he has. I don't know why it's like my mind went blank. But anyway, um Ashley says that she slept with the guy and it was enjoyable, and she's like she just is really smitten with him and whatever, whatever, what have you. um then they get to the villas, and whew, the trip is luxury. They have 3 villas, everybody gets their own room. Again, I mean, I think Robin did a pretty good job of doing that the last time. It was just a weird way of getting to the rooms, but everybody was split by villa. So Wendy put herself, Kay, and Mia in a villa. She only put Mia there because she said, "Hey, you made sure I had a good time in North Carolina. You're gonna be with me." She put Ashley, Karen, and Jacqueline together, which is weird because I feel like Jacqueline and my Mia like to sleep together anyway. You might as well put them together. Um, and then she put Karen, Giselle, and no, not Karen, Giselle and Stacy together. And it's funny because it's like, that really bothered Giselle. And I'm like, okay, Stacy's not that annoying. She seems kind of a little aloof sometimes, but she doesn't come off as like someone who I just would not want to be in the same villa with. I think that's a bit harsh. I think seems like it. But yeah, so basically she was like, "Oh, I don't want to be with her," and da 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 da. But I thought Giselle's reaction to being with Stacy was a bigger reaction than Karen's reaction to being with Jacqueline. Even though I'm saying obviously she didn't want to be with her, but it was weird. And then it's also, I feel like Jazzy could have fit in that room. Maybe she was supposed to go and something happened. Who knows? I'm still curious. Um, so they go. It's funny because Wendy is basically like, honestly, I could have done the rooms differently, but I chose chaos. And then she was like, and I think Stacy is going to get on Giselle's nerves. And I kind of want to see that. And honestly, I do think for the purposes of the show, bravo, Wendy, because yeah, that's probably what we need to make things a little sticky. It's getting sticky, right? So just to get things a little different, shake it up a little bit. She's right. Um, but yeah, so they go to their rooms and Karen's like, I'm gonna take the upstairs room because I think we need some space, Jacqueline. But yeah, then the girls come out to their beachside dinner and they're all dressed up in heels. Remember when I said on the bus, Wendy told them to be comfy? Here comes Stacy in a cute little dress with flats talking about, wait, I thought we were supposed to be comfy. Like, girl, you new to the show because they comfy clearly doesn't mean what comfy means. Because I would have showed up to that dinner in sweats. If somebody told me to be comfy, I'd have been in workout clothes, sweats, something real loosey goosey and comfy because you said comfy. Plus, we're eating on the beach. Your heels aren't going to survive walking on sand. So, why did y'all all have heels on? And that's kind of what I love, but also hate about these shows. Like, I just think like it's just unrealistic. But whatever, obviously they all ended up having to take their shoes off and go barefoot or whatever, and they're dancing and they have like a little conga line and the devil comes out. That was weird to me. I don't know what Panama got going on, but don't bring no devil to my dinner table, okay? I don't care if it's in jest, I don't care if it's culture. I don't want the devil at my dinner table, and I'm gonna tell you to have it go. I don't want that because it's like you cursing this dinner. That's the way it feels, like you trying to put a hex and I'm just trying to eat. That was very weird. Why was the devil at dinner? It was like a masquerade. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. The dancers were cute. The conga line was cute. But when that little devil came out, I was like, oh no. Mm-mm. I would have actually told that thing to leave. Yeah, call me the, fun stopper, but get that devil out of here. I'm not eating any food in the presence of the devil. I need it gone. I need it off the villa. Like the costume and everything. The person who wore it, I want them gone. Like, please. Don't come and bring such juju over my food. Like, are you crazy? I was like, oh, I don't like that at all. But yeah, but anyway, so they go and they start eating, and then Giselle right off the bat tells Jacqueline how effed up she was with the whole balloons thing because she didn't initially hear what she said, but when she heard that she was saying 8 balloons for 8 citations, she's like, it was effed up. Like, why would you do that? And Ashley was like, I feel like Giselle in her confessional is like, is suffering from amnesia. She don't remember when she was doing similar things, and it's true because she wore a shirt that said free, what is it? Free Ben or something like that. When what's his name? Ray had tax issues and she's done a lot of shady things. But I think she feels like you could do shady things when you're a cast member, when you've known the person a long time. Maybe that's what Giselle's thinking. You can't be that effed up when you're just a friend of. Like, you got to know your role a little bit. And um Jacqueline said she came with peace and love and light and blah, 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 whoop, whoop. She made the speech. Again, what she said sounds correct. What she did, I don't know if you're going to convince me that it wasn't shady. I just feel like it was a very shady thing to do. And Karen, being the overly dramatic grand dame that she is, was like, I've already pressed charges on you coming to my home like that. And releasing balloons out into the sky is illegal. And the blah, 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 global warming. And I was like, okay, I'm so glad she mentioned that. Because when I seen those balloons and heard her mention the thing about releasing them, I'm like, isn't releasing mylar balloons illegal? Not regular balloons, but mylar balloons specifically because they get caught up in like electrical wires and then can catch fire and stop electricity or something. Like, someone please correct me if I'm wrong, but I do remember that. Not for the purposes of like the environment and this and that, but specifically because of the electrical currents and the wires, and that it like literally has turned people's electricity off because they have gotten caught up in those things. And I was just like, now, Karen, why are you being so dramatic? Like, I feel like she's dramatic. Like, I feel that it kind of shook Jacqueline a little bit. I do think that when she said that, Jacqueline kind of strained up a little bit and was like, I don't know if she was nervous or I don't know, but she kind of changed her tune. I don't know if maybe there was a long time between editing or what have you, but it was definitely Jacqueline, her energy changed when Karen said that. Maybe she realized it wasn't no jokes no more. Um, then Stacy was asking, like, well, how did you even know Karen's address? And then everybody's like, Mia gave it to her. Mia gets into confession. She's like, I did not give it. I'm like, you're such a liar, Mia. Like, no one can even believe anything that comes out of your mouth because you lie so often. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. But yeah, then Jizzy brings up how she doesn't like Mia's behavior, basically, and she addresses her about her children, saying that if I want to show them as perfect, then they're perfect, and whoop de whoop de whoop. And Wendy confronts Jizzy like, hey, wait a minute. When I even you thought looked at you wrong when you mentioned your children, you were ready to go off. But this person here is actually directly talking about your children and you don't have nothing to say. Like, that's crazy. And Giselle's like, no, you can't even compare the two because me and you were not cool at all. Me and Mia are friends and whoop, whoop, whoop. Now, as it stands and as it is, I agree with Giselle. If I'm not cool with you, you can't even step wrong. But if you're my friend, I'm going to hear you out, right? However, it has come to my attention and the attention of those who have seen Twitter that Mia didn't just say the girls were sneaking boys into the house because that's one thing. It's like, okay, yeah, you're saying that. Don't talk about my kids, but on camera, especially like that, because no. But supposedly, she called the little girls whores. Now, Giselle, if she truly called your daughters whores for sneaking boys in and you didn't mollywop her, because my friend, even someone I thought I was cool with, would not be cool with me if they were running around town calling my children, my daughters that are all under 21, whores. Girl, you would get mollywopped. Are you crazy? And the fact that supposedly, now this just hearsay, this didn't happen on the show. Supposedly, she called them whores the first time and then doubled down again at that dinner table. Now, supposedly, they asked that it be cut and that they take out her calling them whores out. And now, Wendy's comment makes 100 times more sense. Giselle, you have smoke for the dark skinned girls, but a light skinned girl could call your daughters whores and you trying to get to the bottom of it. You got to get to the bottom of this fist, baby, because I'm not talking to you. What do you mean you called my daughters whores? And with the intention of it to be recorded and for people to see it. The only thing is because she didn't have a big reaction, I'm sure that's why Giselle asked them to edit that out because people would be like, wait, you let her call your daughters whores? Because when it stands as like, oh, your girls were sneaking boys in. Okay, yeah, I'm not that cool with you, Wendy. You can't step wrong, but somebody who's my friend can point out something and maybe we argue about it, but it's like, keep my children's name out your mouth, but I might not be as angry, but calling them whores, if that is truly what happened, then Giselle, you will never beat the colorism allegations ever, not in this lifetime. Because how dare you let some person of Mia's low class caliber call your daughters whores and you just are like, I can do what I want and I can display my children how I want on Instagram. Girl, she should have been slapped. You should have thrown a drink. Something should have happened. So, yeah, that when I found that out, if that is true, that pissed me off. I'm like, nah, Giselle, you're trash. I thought you were doing better this season, but you are absolute, total, and complete trash because I mean, I should not be more angry than you that someone called your daughter's horse. Simple. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. They are even now 18, 19. Like, come on now. That's crazy. I'm not saying 18, 19-year-olds can't be whores. Excuse me. Sorry. Don't want to limit anybody. But you not going to say it about my child. Like, what? You're crazy. Um, but then Wendy's just like, okay, noted. I see it. Like, she's like very strange in the confessional. And knowing what we know, Wendy has every right to be spooky eye on the situation. Um, but yeah, then everybody kind of starts going off on Mia, talking about how, what she's doing with Gordon and like the children. It's like she's not protecting them. And she's like, see, you guys can talk about my kids. And it's like, no one's actually talking about your kids. They're talking about you and how you parent. Now, if you want to be mad about them talking about your parenting skills, be my guest. You can say, hey, I'm a great parent, or I'm doing my best, or I'm doing whatever. But you can't say they talking about your kids. It's kind of like when Wendy called you slow and you're like, my son has an IEP. Okay. Wendy didn't know that, and she wasn't talking about your son. She said you're slow. Now, if you think being slow is genetic like that, then that's you. Wendy addressed you. I just think Mia, something's not all the way right with her. And she starts crying because they going off on her. And she's like, do you know what it's like waking up and not knowing which Gordon you're going to get? So what I really do believe that Gordon card is just like her little trump card that she wants to have and be able to pull out whenever she wants to say or do whatever it is that she want to do, and she don't want to answer for her problems. She start crying and saying, my ex-husband's crazy. Like, Gordon has seemed very sane in every scene that I've ever seen him on. He seems like someone who is medicated, not manic. Again, I don't know what's happening when he's not on camera, but it's very hard and it's getting old when you're using that excuse and no one's seen these episodes. We've only seen Gordon standing on business and behaving mild mannered. Now, he has admitted to doing certain things that are crazy, taking your checkbook, taking your keys, locking your room. Clearly, we know. But now that you have separated from him and you guys are not together, I don't know. It's not adding up. So then, all of a sudden everybody starts being sympathetic towards her. And I think that's BS. It's BS. It's BS. None of it's true. No, but I just think that, she's pulling the wool over their eyes with that Gordon thing. She's just using it to get to whatever she's trying to get to and get sympathy. Um, then that's how the dinner ends. Wendy's basically like, girl, if you just want us to treat you based off of what you say and not what we see, then say that and we can move on. Like, I don't care. I don't have time to be low with Mia. Like, she's like, I don't care that much. Like, I'll treat you exactly how you want me to treat you based on your behavior and what have you. So, you know, I think that was a good resolve for that situation. Then the next morning, they're all like eating breakfast, kind of getting ready for the day. And Jacqueline comes outside and she asks one of the helpers in the house if they could take a picture of her. And Ashley's like, girl, what are you doing? Like, why would you ask one of us to take the picture? And she's like, well, I didn't think, she's like, well, you were getting ready and I didn't think Karen would want to take a picture for me. And Karen was like, girl, I'll take a picture. Like, come on. She, like, letting the guy go back to work because honestly, yes, if you were there solo, maybe you can ask him and tip the guy for helping you out or whatever. But not when you have all these people with you. Like, girl, ask your friend for real. Leave that man alone. He got stuff to do that doesn't involve taking pictures of you. So Karen goes and she takes the pictures or tries to or whatever. And then Ashley actually ends up taking more pictures of her, hopefully better pictures of her. And you know, she was like, let me do this so she knows that there is potential for me to extend an olive branch later on. She's like, when she stops wearing all that Fashion Nova. Kern, Kern, as a Fashion Nova girly myself, that shade was so unnecessary. Okay. Unnecessary shade towards me and everybody else out there who wears Fashion Nova. Okay. Honestly, I need to stop. I'm not wearing Fashion Nova anymore. I mean, whatever pieces I have, I have. But I'm not going to wear it no more. Okay. Not because of Karen, really, but because I don't like their return policy. That's a very random fact. Okay. Sorry, guys. I don't like having them credits. I don't want no more credits. I don't want to buy nothing else from y'all. But yeah, anyway, then they're kind of like eating breakfast, trying to get ready, and what's it called? Wendy comes and tells everybody the plans for the day. And then she's like, I guess somebody asked, like, where's Mia? Like, what's going on? And then it cuts to Mia, where Jacqueline goes and checks in on her. And Mia is on the phone trying to figure out where her kids are. Supposedly, Gordon, she's talking to her mom, and supposedly Gordon went and picked the kids up from the nanny, traveled out of state, and then drop the kids off with an old nanny or something. This is what she's saying. She just is like, I don't know where my kids are. No one's answering. She's trying to like figure out what's going on. And she's kind of like panicking and trying to figure out what exactly is happening. And this is kind of where the episode ends. So we're about to see what is going on this Sunday. Um, I'm excited to see Panama because I've never been, so I kind of want to see what they do, where they go. That's what I love about those trips, right? When they go to places that I could potentially or may want to go to in the future, I'm like, okay, well, what did they do? Let me find the cheap version and go and do it too. Because, baby, I'm going on a budget, so I'm gonna do it, but a little lower class than what they do. Um, but yeah, so I thought this episode was okay. I'm really upset. I mean, I'm glad they cut out her calling those kids whores because I think it's a little unreasonable, but I do think it takes away context. It takes away a lot of context of that episode and why people were so like taken aback, I guess, by Mia in that situation. That I wish that we had. But yeah, tell me what you guys are thinking, how you like the episode. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video with everybody. And I hope to be more consistent. I'm so sorry, guys. I swear I'm going to do better. Love you all. Bye. All right, hold on. I don't know why I stuck up one finger. It was very awkward. Probably because I didn't want this thing to drop. See you guys next time. Bye.